Hi, let's go ahead and look at dividing rational expressions. So the first thing we want to look at is the term of the word reciprocal. So the word reciprocal means a multiplicative inverse. So if something is a multiplicative inverse, if I were to multiply what I have already, let's say I have 3 halves, and I wanted to multiply 3 halves by the multiplicative inverse, I would get 2/3 and I would equal 1. So reciprocal is when the numerator becomes a denominator and denominator becomes a numerator. Okay, so the way you're going to go ahead and check division is you're going to factor everything first. And then you're going to multiply by the reciprocal of the second fraction. So you have 2 fractions. Go ahead and look at the first one. So the first one is going to be 32 divided by p, and that's going to be 1 fraction. You're going to see if you can simplify that. And then it's going to be divided by p divided by q. So instead we're going to make the reciprocal, and then we're going to multiply, so it becomes q times p. And then we say 32q divided by p squared. And there's nothing else to simplify. Okay, so let's go ahead and continue to number 1. You're going to want to factor each fraction on their own, and then you're going to want to go ahead and put them together. So let's go ahead and factor 10 divided by 4x is going to be, you're going to factor out a 2, so it's going to be 5 over 2x divided by 2x over 5. So you're going to want to go ahead and take the reciprocal of the second fraction. So then I'm going to have 5 divided by 2x times 5 over 2x. And then when you multiply going across. You're going to say 5 times 5 is 25. And then 2x squared is going to be 4x squared. So my solution is going to be 25 divided by 4x squared. Okay, for number 2, we have 5xy divided by 16x to the third, and then that expression is going to be divided by 35x squared y squared divided by 8y to the fifth. So we're going to simplify the x's first. So I'm going to have 5y divided by 16x squared. So we're going to leave that alone. And then we're going to simplify right here the second expression. So we're going to subtract 2 from both exponents. So I'm going to get 35x squared divided by 8y to the third. So now we're going to have 5y divided by 16x squared multiplied by 8y to the third divided by 35x squared. So remember that we are going to multiply going across. So you have the reciprocal right here. So then I'm going to say equals 40y to the third divided by 16 times 35 x squared times x squared. I get 40 y to the 4th divided by 560 x to the 4th, and I'm going to simplify y to the 4th over 14 x to the 4th, because 40 divided by 560 is 1 over 14. This is my solution. Now we're going to go ahead and look at binomials. So it's the same thing. You want to go ahead and factor out everything and then multiply the second fraction by the reciprocal. So in this first one, we can say that I have 10. The numerator is fine. The denominator I'm going to factor out of 4, x minus 2. All of this divided by, I'm going to factor out the numerator, 2x, I'm just going to make x plus 3, divided by, factoring out the denominator, x plus 3, x minus 2. I'm still trying to consider what I have in common. So in the first one, the 10 over 4 will simplify, and then the second one, the binomial of x plus 3 will simplify. So those are going to go away. So then I'm going to be left with 5 halves times x minus 2 divided by 2x divided by x minus 2. Then I'm going to create the reciprocal of the second fraction. So I'm going to keep the first one. Times x minus 2. So when we multiply going across. These two go away. I'm left with 5 over 4 x. Okay, number 3. So this is already simplified. I'm going to go ahead and put that. So in this case, we can take out the binomials. So it's a 1 over, so I'm going to be left with 1 over a plus 2 divided by a minus 5, a squared. I can't really simplify the second fraction. Let's go ahead and create the reciprocal. So then I'm going to get 1 times a plus 2. I'm going to make the fractions into 2 different sets, times a squared divided by a minus 5. So as I simplify, I'm going to left a squared divided by a plus 2, a minus 5. That's my answer. There's nothing else to simplify. Let's go ahead and finish number 4. So we want to see if there's anything we can simplify in the first expression. And we can say 2x minus 1, 2x plus 1. This is called the difference of squares. That's what the numerator is. Divided by x. And all of that divided by, I cannot simplify anything here. Well, let's just rewrite what we have. Let's go ahead and take the reciprocal and then multiply. And say 2x minus 1 times 2x plus 1 divided by x times 4x minus 1 divided by 4x plus 1. Let's make those each individual binomials. So when we multiply going across. So I'm going to get 2x minus 1 times 2x plus 1 times 4x minus 1. Roll that over x, 4x plus 1. And that's my solution.